Now available on Tata Sky channel number 526.
Design has a language of its own, and it connects through the infinite universe of aesthetics and creates a little world of its own. Welcome to the Interior Show with me, Aditi Singh, and on today's show, we have one such designer couple, Robert and Shefali Balwani, who are not just business partners, but also partners in real life. So let's go ahead and find out what is the secret behind their successful partnership.
Hi, I'm Robert.
Hi, I'm Shefali. Robert and I have a studio in Bandra called Architecture Brio. It's an interior design and architecture firm. We started our practice in 2006. Robert is from the Netherlands. We both worked in Sri Lanka before this, and we came to Mumbai in 2006 to start our practice.
Design for us really is a way of life in a way. We like to immerse ourselves in great design, be in an environment that inspires us. We like to challenge ourselves in projects where design is absent, or you really can make a difference with good design or good architectural interventions.
When we complete a project and a client lives there, appreciates it, you kind of see what the impact of your design has, how it has changed or bettered their life. It's very fulfilling and satisfying.
Hi Robert, hi Shefali, welcome to the Interior Show.
Hi. Thank you.
Well, I have to say that I had to rough my way out of this really crowded street, but I have to say that the effort has been definitely worth it because this place is totally beautiful and serene.
Thank you. I think we feel that way as well when we come home, that it calms us down a little bit.
I mean, you're from Bombay, right? But Robert, you're from Netherlands. What brought you to Mumbai?
That's why I am from a very small village in the Netherlands. There's some 3,000 people living. Which is a total contrast to where we are now, right? So I wanted to live in a place where I was really challenged, where you really feel that what your design kind of inspiration can bring you to new things.
Does it ever happen that the combination of something that belongs to the Indian culture and something that belongs to your territory somehow naturally just comes within the space that you're creating?
We are ourselves a kind of unconventional couple, and I think the way this house is designed is not very conventional. I mean, we do have an open kitchen, and I think it does sort of reflect our lifestyle, the way we sort of, the way it's evolved over time.
What do you think, where does Shefali's strength lies in?
Shefali is very good at resolving complex things and resolving plans and looking at how things work.
That's about it. You don't need anyone else in your company then. So Robert and Shefali, you've clearly said it, that it's a smart house. So why don't we go ahead and have a look?
Sure,
Yeah,
let's do
that. So Aditi, this is our master bedroom.
Shefali, it's beautiful. And I also have to say that, the first thing that strikes me when I enter this room is a lot of light and a lot of green palettes of colors that you've used.
Yeah, so again, I think for us, just getting a view of the park from our bedroom is important. So in front of us, we have large sliding windows which completely slide away, and then you just look at a burst of green outside. And this painting on the wall, I think, did determine the palette a little bit because we've had this and we bought it when we both lived in Sri Lanka. It's from a Sri Lankan artist. And I think for the rest of the palette, it's fairly neutral. The back of the bed is in a birch ply, so there is no veneer. It's just a plywood that has been stained with graphite powder. So you kind of do see the grain of the wood, and even when you open it, you see the edge of the plywood that's exposed. And we like the materials to sort of look natural.
What about the lights that you've used?
Most of the decorative fittings are from Scandinavian designers. I think they seem to always get it right.
We talked about storage being a cornerstone of this house. So how did you go about building that in the bedroom?
The wall behind the bed completely opens up, so we have his and her wardrobes here. So my wardrobe is on this side, and then Robert's is on that side. And then, even the small 1 foot of space we've got has like extra storage here. And then this opens up to become a dresser. And then in that dresser, you have, drawers
More
for jewelry,
storage.
and then pockets for other things.
So there's storage within storage.
Within storage as well.
I really want to go out there and explore that space a bit more because I see you've added a lot of character to the room with that wood, that plant, and those curtains hanging off there. And I also want to know what are those curtains for because they definitely don't protect the light coming in.
Yeah, I think that is definitely an unusual aspect to this room.
Yeah.
Let me take you there and show you.
Yeah.
So this, Aditi, is actually a shower.
Wait, Shefali, I cannot believe there's a shower in the bedroom.
Yeah, so the idea for this came about because we did want to have two showers, if you ever have guests. This curtain actually just, it closes and
Wow.
you can, it's
what
a
the
rain
curtain's
shower
for.
and then you don't see it because it's, the
Yeah.
ceiling hides it. My daughter loves to stand here and
It is,
get wet.
but so how did you work out the practicalities of this?
Yeah, so this is a deck wood, which is also used in the veranda outside, and it's an Ipe wood, so it's very hard and resistant, and it's just finished with a linseed oil. You do have to keep coating it, especially the areas that get wet, maybe every 6 months. We've used the same wood for the shower deck as for the platform here, and only thing is there are gaps in the wood here, so the water drains through into the floor below, and then there's a pipe that sort of runs into the duct. here.
Okay, so Shefali, you've gone ahead with smart solutions in the house. Now, on that note, I really want to go to the living room and check out what are the smart tricks you've played around with.
Okay, let's take this way.
This way.
Yes.
Wow, Shefali, so this is the balcony that you got extended.
That's right, yes. So here what we've done is
Yeah.
all the windows are they go into a pocket here. So when it's open, it's one large space. That's one of the other sort of planned storage areas. We have a planned storage for the doors as well. The table is something we made again of wood that we had from furniture. It's a Wenge wood. We've inlaid strips of teak wood in it, and the base is made of steel. And again, you see in the railings, we've used steel with a wooden handrail. The tracks of the windows are also, they've got like brass inlay in them. So that wood and metal combination does run in a lot of
It
parts of the
does.
house. And I think most people don't do steel windows because of the fear of rusting. So if you galvanize it, that ensures that it will not rust. But I think what the galvanizing does, it gives it that kind of industrial look, which you can also paint. I think if people want a more finished, clean look, you can paint it. But we decided to leave it as it was because we like that.
Yeah.
So
I think that's the best bet when it comes to your open areas, right?
Yes, exactly.
All right. So why don't we explore a little bit more inside towards the kitchen area?
Sure. Yeah.
Shefali, this is a beautiful open kitchen. Where's my wine? No. Well, tell me something. I see a lot of wood that you've used here when it comes to the material palette.
So the oak wood is definitely the dominant material in the kitchen. The counter and the table are made of solid oak wood, and you see it in the way the edge is detailed, that it's solid and it's very
Sturdy.
kind of hardy. Yeah. And again, similarly, these are oak veneer panels, which is good, and then use a very natural oil to just finish it, so the grain really comes out, and I think that really adds to the warmth of the surface. And the counter here is made of stainless steel, and what you see behind the kitchen is a blackened metal sheet. It's rustic, it's unfinished, it's industrial, so I think again the nature of the material comes out a lot. All the kind of groceries and utilities are tucked away in this pantry space here.
How do you do that? This way?
Yeah, just push it in.
Oh my God.
So, we have your coffee machine, your toaster, and again, we have our freezer here, the fridge here. So it's all there, but of course, you don't see it when it's closed. And then, we have, there's a dishwasher. So it's a fully equipped kitchen in that sense.
Yeah. Well, you've revealed all the secrets to me when it comes to storage for sure. That makes me even more hungry to see what you've done with your other projects since you mentioned.
Right.
And as you promised, you were going to make me have a look at it.
Yes.
So are we heading to that place?
Let's do that.
Every house narrates its own story. Well, it's a telling insight into the journey of those who not just inhabit but grow with it. Welcome back to the Interior Show. I'm your host Aditi Singh, and we're still with Shefali and Robert. And I'm sure they're going to agree with what I've just said because they've brought me to this lavish apartment that looks nothing less than a villa. And also with them today, we are privileged to have the proud owner of this house, Dorothy. Welcome to the Interior Show. First of all, tell me, how did you meet Shefali and Robert?
Well, we were looking for an architect to do the work, and we went through a lot of great ones in the city, but what attracted us most was at their website. Robert and Shefali had been, I think, working on or just finished a British manor house in Calcutta restoration work, and seeing some of the projects that they had done, from something very contemporary, very clean, to doing the British manor house and the restoration work, gave us confidence that they would get kind of some of the things that we were looking for and be able to accomplish it.
I'm sure they have, because it's a huge house. So I'm sure there's got to be some background to it.
Well, my husband and I have always lived in houses. We've not lived in apartments. And so we wanted to kind of create an environment where it did feel like a home. But we have the advantage of being on the 51st floor, so we also have amazing views. We wanted a house that could be wear the Indian hat that my husband grew up with and my American hat that I grew up with, and marry those two things together along with all kind of the rooms and things that we wanted.
So that brings me to another question. I noticed that the windows are actually not just windows, they're a piece of art because it reflects the view that's outside. Was that the reason behind the floor to the ceiling windows?
Yeah, so I think here, again, we wanted to maximize the views, and I think therefore the vertical divisions in the spaces were created versus, and I think we knew that they wanted to use the space air-conditioned most of the time, so we really didn't need to slide it completely open and connect the outside and the inside at all times. It should just have a easy access, but I think capturing the view was the kind of dominant view.
But you've done that, I think, tremendously well. Dorothy, this is like a huge house. I'm sure every corner of this house is your favorite corner, but if you were to pick one where you actually choose to sort of unwind and, you just refuse to talk to anyone, which part of that house would that be?
Well, it depends on the time of day. In the morning when I have my breakfast, my favorite place is to sit out in the kitchen, the kitchen nook, and look outside, read my paper, have my coffee, and I'm away from everybody. Yeah. In the evenings before dinner, I just go into the library and I catch up on my TV shows, and nobody bothers me. And in the winter months, to sit outside in the evenings with the breeze and just chill out with a glass of wine and some friends, there's absolutely nothing better. So,
well, you know what? It just makes me say that they've actually created ample opportunities for you to have different favorite spaces with different seasons and time of the day.
Lucky, very lucky. Yeah.
Well, Robert, on that note, it won't be fair if we don't have a look around.
Yeah, I'll take you around. The stairwell is a very important part of the house. And here you can see that the artwork and the art collection of the client is a central part of the design of the house. And this is an artwork by Abir Patwardhan, and he's an Indian artist, and it's made out of copper leaves.
Okay.
And the copper leaves are falling down, and that's where Buddha appears.
Wow.
So it suggests to say that Buddha's everywhere around us.
So tell me about the staircase. So this was designed to be the focal point of the house. So
this stair that winds up to the upper floor kind of reminded the client about his childhood, where he used to have a staircase which has this long, winding, curving wooden railing where he used to slide down. Oh. So that's how also we go up. We made a staircase out of Kremmermorph marble, which is made in a very kind of a natural leather finish, not shiny, but quite muted. So it again feels like it's been there for a long time. And at the same time, we have this limestone skirting that runs around, and a plastered wall, painted wall, with a small brass bead that also leads you around that whole spiral again.
So let's go up the stairs.
Absolutely. Let's go up. So what you would have noticed when you walked up the staircase is that here there's no art. All the walls are empty. And what we wanted to do is we wanted to emphasize the curvature of the staircase. Oh, no. And with that, we wanted to even more emphasize that curvature to the cornices that you see here.
Okay.
So the cornice has multiple layers. And it becomes then kind of a rest point, a focal point in the house. I wanted to have a chandelier, which is quite simple and elegant, but at the same time fills the entire space. Also, the air conditioning is hidden in this black line.
So what's up next? Because you told me right when we entered that this house is designed in a way that everywhere you go, you'll anticipate what's up next. So what's up next? Up next is a place where you have the most fabulous view of the city. Let's go there. Wow, let's do it. So Robert, there's no doubt about this room being the master bedroom. It totally reflects that. So the brief was to create a very comfortable and homely space. And on the 51st floor, sometimes light can be very overbearing. So what we did is we created French louvers that you can adjust so that the light gets modulated and it creates beautiful patterns on the walls as well. Well, it does.
And also they have a lot of pieces from the earlier houses, like for example this chair, which comes from the ancestral home. But there was only one, so we balanced the chair with the other side as well. Yes. To create a sense of symmetry in the space. One thing I must say, I just cannot miss out on this 4-poster bed here. Was this something the client particularly wanted? Yes, absolutely. This is a 4-poster bed that came and we were really lucky that this actually fitted perfectly in the space.
Yeah, it's almost like, it's just fitting in.
It's just fitting in.
Is there something else that I'm still yet to see?
Yes, let's explore the bathrooms.
Okay.
So this is the first bathroom I was talking about. So what we've done here for the couple is to create a his bathroom and a hers bathroom.
Wait a minute, there are actually 2 bathrooms.
There are 2 bathrooms.
For a couple.
Yes, so we've created a space that's custom to the client, where we've used materials like marbles in very soft tones, grays and whites and pinks, with rounded edges around the marble tops, for example. So there's a lot of detailing in this bathroom. So for example, here we've got a bathtub which has a view of the Queen's necklace, and which again has a small niche where the towels are kept and the statue is kept. Here we've got a vanity, which is like a loose piece, but then it's built in, so it has a sink inside as well. And here there's a chair with a makeup table, with a little drawer inside, and there's a mirror. Well, I actually see that you have personalized the bathroom for Dorothy here. What I would now like to see is how have you done that for her husband? Great, let's go there. So the main difference is that Dorothy's bathroom has a bathtub. Here we have a shower, and we really wanted to make a very unique shower. So behind the vanity basin is actually a shower that overlooks the city. Another thing I observed is that you've also used a combination of different color palettes for his bathroom. For example, on the wall, I see you've used grayish and a black shade. Yeah, but this is actually a cupboard. It's not a wall? You can slide it open. Oh, okay. Oh yes, it's a walk-in wardrobe. Well, I must say, Robert, again, I have seen a very smart use of space, as I saw it in your house previously. What it leaves me with is a lot of curiosity again and anticipation to see more what's hidden within this house. So let's go ahead and have a look. Okay. So this space is the library space. Yeah, I mean, I can see as opposed to the other rooms in the house, this is relatively cozier, darker. Tell me about the cabinets that you've sort of carved here. We've created these cabinets which are finished in a lacquer finish, in a mouseback color. And they're all finished in an edge of an antique brass. Well, Robert, I have to say that as I've been through the whole house, almost the whole house, whatever we could within our capacity, you have created a perfect balance between, suiting the needs of people who live in here. And at the same time, you've brought opulence in each room. Thank you. Somebody once said, a kitchen is the spinal cord of the house. And like I promised before getting into the break, this segment is going to be all about how to make your kitchen more space efficient and aesthetic. Well, Robert and Shefali, today we saw 2 different kinds or rather designs of kitchen. One being the open kitchen, the other the traditionally enclosed kitchen.
But tell me, according to you, in what situations would you recommend, a kitchen that's open or something that's enclosed?
So an open kitchen is great if you have a small house, because the space looks much larger when you have a kitchen opening into a living room.
How do you strike that balance between utility and aesthetics when it comes to kitchens?
So you have to plan very well. You have to really know how big your pots and pans are, how many spoons and forks and all sorts of other tools that you need in the kitchen. But you should definitely also not forget that it needs to look appealing, it needs to be aesthetic, lines need to match, nothing sticks out, everything can be hidden away, so that when you enter a kitchen, it feels calm and it feels comfortable.
Thank you, Robert and Shefali, for that quick, delicious insight into the world of kitchens. So let's begin with the first question. That's been sent in by Prashant from Mumbai, and he says, my wife and I love cooking and love Indian cuisines, but my kitchen tabletop easily gets dirty. Is there any particular material which I can use that gets less dirty?
Well, if you like stone, then black granite is a great material. But if you don't like black, then there are also lots of engineered stones that you can get in any range of color.
Yeah.
Or there's always stainless steel in a satin finish that you can use.
Let's move on to Jaya's query. From New Delhi, she says, my husband is an avid photographer. The walls are already displayed with the pictures he has taken. What are the other ways in which he can exhibit rest of his photographs?
So I think one of the ways is maybe make a nice coffee table book. You can have, print your photographs in a large format, put them together, and if you have guests, you can go through the pages. That may be a nice way to do it. Or you can print them on coasters or on your cushions, and you can even abstract them graphically if you're good with digital stuff in Photoshop.
Yeah.
That's a nice way to do it, and then use it in the soft furnishing of your house maybe.
Well, let's move on to the third query. Prasoon from Kolkata mentions that currently his bedroom has very minimal decor. His question is how he can create an impact like a focal point for the bedroom without reworking the overall decor.
Yeah, so I think nice art is definitely something he could look at, just to put a painting either in a bold color or something that's very simple but has like a story behind it, or a wall mural. I think that definitely adds a focal point.
Let's move on to the last query. Pallavi says, I have 2 kids who keep doodling or leave sketch pen marks on the walls. What kind of paint and color should I use now that I'm renovating my place? And you guys already have a daughter. I'm sure you've seen plenty of that already and have a solution to that in your house.
It's great, children doodling and coloring, and you really need to encourage it. So one thing to do is to make her whole wall in chalkboard paints, so that she can doodle there the whole day.
Yeah. I mean, so have you done that in your house?
We did.
Yes. You have a chalkboard.
Yeah, and actually chalkboard paint is available in a lot of colors, not only black. So, even if you want color in another part of your house, and it's very easy to clean. So, yeah.
All right. On that note, Shefali and Robert, thank you so much for spending time with me today. And I have to say that you've been extremely patient with my endless questions. And before I let you go, I also want to say that I often thought that design was about executing beautiful designs, but you've made me realize that comes with impeccable planning. Thank you for that insight, and I'm going to definitely take that away home with me today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for talking.
Thank you.
So that's all I have for you on the show today. I really hope that today's episode was just as informative as it was interesting. And as for me, I'll be back the same time next week with yet another celebrated designer only on The Interior Show. Till then, take good care and see you next week.
You can watch live TV on our website mpnow.in. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Magicbricks Now. And don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at Magicbricks Now. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/Magicbricks Now.